Kim here, welcome back to my channel. I was tagged by the lovely Adriane at Share Inspire Journey Dream to do the Labyrinth tag. I have been in love with the movie Labyrinth since I was 5 years old. David Bowie has been my #1 guy since I was 5 years old. I love that movie. It is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. It will always be one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I cannot get enough of it. Jareth the Goblin King is life. The original tag was done by Julie at PagesandPens. I will give the LINKY links down there to her channel and to Adriane at Share Inspire Journey Dream, who tagged me so thoughtfully because this is the perfect tag for me and I'm very excited, so let's get going! Number 1. Sarah, a character that found strength without a love interest. For that one, I chose Coraline from Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I know Coraline's too young to have a love interest, she's like 10 years old. But she had to do the right thing and she found strength in that. And I like that. I love it, okay? I loved this book though. I did a full review on it that you can check out, so. Number 2 is Huggle, a character who at first you weren't sure whether to love or to hate. For this one, I went with a character that a lot of people hate and therefore hate the book. But I'm choosing a favorite of mine, Holden from Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. When you're first reading this book, you kind of like are confused by him a little bit because it's like, okay, all right, do I like you? Do I not? Like, you're kind of like cocky, but like you're also like sad. So yeah, I loved him because I found a lot of my own like inner teenager in Holden, and so like I like him, but a lot of people don't, and that's why, because he has the problems, okay? Holden from Catcher in the Rye. Number 3, Ludo, a character who's almost too innocent to be real. For this one, I chose Hagrid from the Harry Potter series. I feel like Hagrid was so just sweet and had this innocence about him that you were like, you cannot be a real person. And not at all in an unbelievable way. I think he's so sweet and so precious and so wonderful. And he does have a lot of innocence and naivety about him, but I feel like that's one of his most endearing qualities. And I just loved him. I just want to be snuggled by him for hours on end. Anyway, yeah. Number 4, Sir Didymus, a character that is so clueless you love or you hate them. Okay, for this one, I went with a character I hate but loved the book. Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind. Scarlett's a terrible human being in a lot of ways. She has some redeemable qualities, but still, she is so clueless about, things outside of her. A lot of times. Sometimes not, but a lot of times. She just is so, she's so tunnel visioned on Ashley that she doesn't recognize that, her world is falling apart, okay? So many things are so wrong about so many things, and she's just, oh, Ashley! And I'm like, shut up, Scarlett, get a freaking grip. But at the same time, I loved this book. Partly because of Scarlett, because she is so just, ugh. It made it really entertaining and it made it interesting, but I really liked it. So, yeah, but my choice for clueless character is Scarlett O'Hara. Number 5, Jareth, a villain you can't help but love. My obvious answer would be Captain Hook, but I feel like I have gushed about him a lot lately on my channel. I challenged myself to pick somebody else, so I chose Lestat from the Vampire Chronicles. I'm not sure if he'd even be classified as a villain, but he has some villainous tendencies. No, I guess he's an anti-hero, I don't know. Anyway, I love Lestat. I love everything about his character. I love his sinister ways. I love his viciousness. But I love his flamboyancy, and I love his style, and I love his motives, and I just love everything about him. He's such a cool character. Of course, the first book he appears in is The Interview with the Vampire, but this is one of my favorite books. The second book in that Vampire Chronicles series by Anne Rice, The Vampire Lestat. He's great. He's so cool. He's just so cool. I think I kind of have this weird attraction to these really sinister villains. Captain Hook, Jareth the Goblin King, Vampire Lestat. My villain that I can't help but love is Lestat from the Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice. Number 6, The Fire Dancers. What secondary character really got on your nerves? This one I had to think about for a second, but then it dawned on me and I was like, oh yeah, okay, like the only reason this book did not basically get a perfect 20 out of 20 score on how I rate books. You can learn about that there. The Humbug from the Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster. He didn't work for me. Like, I guess this is the only way I can really put it. He drove me crazy, all this like negativity, and then like, he couldn't like speak for himself. He had to agree, like he had to be agreeable, and it drove me nuts. I just was like, can't you just have an original thought? But he cannot. He cannot. And of course, like, he's a humbug. Like, he's just sort of a grumbly, negative Nelly Debbie Downer kind of guy. And while I think having that personality did add to the story, it did. And it really rounded out the characters nicely so that not everyone's perfect, of course. He drove me crazy. He really drove me crazy. Number 7, The Labyrinth, a book with plot twists you never saw coming. I really could pick this author just in general, but I'm gonna say specifically Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. I saw the movie first. Oh, I hate that. I hate that I saw the movie first because the book was better. It's always better. I don't want to give a spoiler in case you haven't seen the movie or read the book and want to, which I highly recommend because Dan Brown can write a like gripping story. He's great at it. But I, at the end, did not see the bad guy being the bad guy. I really didn't. And usually, like, I can be like, you're gonna turn out to not be who you say you are. But this time, it really took me by surprise. It really did. That one shocked me. And he is good at the twist. He is good at the... You know, like, he's good at it, okay? And so, anyway, but yeah, so Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. Number 8, The Bog of Eternal Stench. What trope or writing style will immediately make you put the book down? If it's offensive, ignorantly offensive, if you're using language, if you're creating characters or storylines that are offensive to a certain race, to a certain minority, to people with disabilities, to people with mental illness, especially, really gets me. And while I don't consider myself, like, super educated on these issues that are very important, and I'm trying to be more educated, obviously, but honestly, a lot of books have it, and I don't even notice. But when it's bad enough that I notice, the book's getting closed and put away, like. Also, lazy writing in general. I would, like, if you're just being lazy, I'm not gonna suffer through your laziness. Like, get it together. Purposefully offensive, too ignorantly offensive, and lazy writing. Number 9, The Oubliette. What book series will you never finish? While my first instinct was to say the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, Adriane stole my answer. She just took it. So I had to think of another one, and that turned out to be A Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. It's simply just been too long since I finished Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons came out. I finished this one in 2009. That was just too long a gap that I no longer have any interest whatsoever in seeing what happens to these people. Like, I don't care anymore, unfortunately. The Bog of Eternal Sadness and Death. Song of Ice and Fire, George R.R. Martin. Never gonna finish it. Number 10, The 13th Hour. What book kept you up all night, or did you read it in just one sitting? Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. I was so enthralled with the character of Anne Shirley. I want to be her so bad. She is so smart. She is so cool. She is so fun. She is so imaginative and romantic, and I just loved everything about her. I thought she was so cool. Like, she was such a pure joy and delight that I did not want to stop, and I didn't. I read this in a day, and yeah. So, Anne of Green Gables. Number 11, Crystal Balls. What character do you wish had crystal balls so they could see into the future to avoid miscommunication? The only thing I could think of for this was Romeo and Juliet. If Romeo had just known Juliet's death was a fake, they wouldn't be dead. They would just be living life happy and in love. Really not a big fan of that story. I think it's kind of dumb. Stupid kids being irrational and impulsive. Number 12, You Have No Power Over Me. What book or series did you not understand the hype for? This is an easy one. The girl with the dragon tattoo. I read this book. I read this entire book, and it is not a short book. I didn't get it. Everything I heard said that it was gripping and it was riveting and it just grabs you and you just won't want to put it down. And I was like, all I wanted to do was put it down. But I kept going because I was like, it's gonna get me, it's gonna get me, it's gonna get me, and then it just didn't. I appreciated it for drawing attention to sexual assault on women. That's about it. I thought the story was boring, had like too much kind of going on, but then at the same time not enough. Like I just, not a fan. Lastly, number 13, Dance Magic Dance. What book will always make you happy? I had a few to choose from, but ultimately I settled on Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's not even that I go back and read these very often. I've only read through the entire series twice, but there is something about seeing these friends of mine on my shelves. There is something about the busted up spines and the really good smells. When I look over at my bookshelves, which I do very often, and I see these guys, I get a little flutter and I get like a oozy warmth throughout me. I love these babies. Okay. Hey, that does it for the Labyrinth Book Tag. I feel like this is a million years long. I'm gonna tag 2 new booktubers that I really am enjoying their channels. The first is Erin from the Reading Squid, total sweetheart. I tag you, and I tag Grace from the Bookhuntress. She's brand new too and funny and great. So you've been tagged. I think you're cool. If you haven't seen Labyrinth, that's okay. I forgive you. And you don't have to do the tag. Check out our channels. LINKY links down there. This was fun. Thanks, Adriane. As usual, leave a comment or something. I'm sure that people hate the movie Labyrinth. No, I'm not sure. I know. I'm 100% sure. There are people that hate this movie, The Labyrinth. And you're wrong. I'm just kidding. I will always love it. And this was a great tag. And thanks so much. I will see you guys later. Oh gosh, I think this is my best smelling book. I don't even know who I'm gonna tag. Dance, magic, dance, magic, dance, magic. Anyway, do you have a name? I just asked if you had a name.